used to be the press conferences. First off, can everyone hear me? My voice is a little off because that music made me very, very sad. I'm choked up. Obviously not happy at all about the tweet that was put out by Chatham County or Chatham County. I got some after show comments. Not really going to go through them. We agree to disagree. Give Billy a break. I'm giving Billy a break. I'm not going to sit here. Billy wasn't there. Leilani was there. Leilani was there. I'm just trying to figure out how all this went down last night. I'm not saying that I doubt it at all. Please don't think that. Here, I'll put a couple of screenshots up. Let everybody get settled in. Then I'm going to start saying hello. Hi, howdy. All right. So Chatham County, well, actually Brett Buffington, this is the tweet he put out. Leilani, and yes, I'm pronouncing it that way. Lie, not Leilani anymore. Named as the prime suspect. Police confirm that they believe Quinton is dead. They believe Quinton is dead. All right, so Billy reaches out to another YouTuber and others. Quinton has passed. Now, I totally understand that today is not the day to be picking Billy apart. I just want to point out something. Quinton has passed is something that you would say if someone has been ill for a long time, even several days, and they've passed on. Quinton has not just passed. Something very, very bad was done to him by his mother. Whether it be pure negligence or abuse, I don't know. He was passed is denial. That's denial. Then she goes on to say he's in a landfill. And my daughter done it. She has no memory of it. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't have any memory of what happened. Really, wouldn't surprise me. I don't know what slew of drugs she's on. I don't know what cocktails she took last week. I don't know. But I know that someone texted Diana to say, don't come over. Somebody was courteous that day and said, we're not going to need you. Somebody was. She also started orchestrating a web of lies. So she had enough juice in the noodle to know that something really, really bad happened. And that something was going to need to be covered up. And that something happens to be her son, Quinton. Rowena, I saw you backstage. Go ahead and grab the link. Petty Kitty says she absolutely knows everything. Hello, Elaine. Jashani, how does she not remember? Our brains can shut off traumatic events. They can. There's a lot of things we don't remember. I don't believe she doesn't remember this. She was coming out yesterday. She covered her face. She shielded herself so no one could see her. Bad makeup day? I don't know. Was it humid in Savannah yesterday? I don't know. Curtis was on panel yesterday. Took a little while to figure out if I was coming or going with the conversation. He did call the tip line. They're aware of this story about ADT and the doors being open. They're aware. I can tell you that for a fact. They're aware, not just from Curtis. They've been told before. This is not a new story. It's also been said, you know, that Leilani hasn't been acting herself since the birth of her third child, postpartum depression. I don't see her getting away with this at all. At all. This is not an Andrea Yates situation where she'd been warned by doctors not to have children because she's postpartum psychosis. Hello, Kelly. Kelly said she doesn't remember putting him in a trash can out by the road for trash pickup for real. If that's what happened, where'd the landfill come from? Did Leilani tell her that? I don't know that we'll find out in the press conference if they address it. They may not. So did they really hit Billy with this? Did they say, Billy, we don't believe he's alive? I believe that conversation happened because they put it on their Twitter. They didn't put on there that they believe he's in the landfill. They searched the landfill last week. I'm not saying he's not there. I'm not saying that at all. He very well could be. I'm not privy to this information. But they're not searching there today. They're searching behind a neighbor's house. They're still searching right around Billy's house. Why is Billy saying landfill if they're searching behind a neighbor's house? It was on Twitter about an hour ago. Wouldn't they be searching the landfill if they told Billy that? Where did that come from? Is she piecing together what she has seen on Facebook, heard on the news? Well, heard on this show, other shows. Did Leilani tell her that? Leilani, I'm sorry. Hello, DB. Hello, Mrs. Pete. Hello, Sky Balloon Moon. Hello, Chelsea. Hello, DS. Yes, Lauren, you're right. Margot, honestly, have no clue, but a lot of cars there. Yeah, something's shaking down at the house. Something official. Not, Billy going to get groceries or anything like that. Something official's going on because the authorities are behind the neighbor's house. They're really canvassing around a certain area. It's not the landfill. If they told Billy last night, we believe he's in the landfill, by God, they'd be in the landfill, would they not? That's what makes sense to me. Rowena, you were backstage and I lost you again. Angel P, what's going on? AJ, yes, I heard they're having dinner. Hello, Snow. Miss Julie, we have some new names in here, guys. While I'm getting situated and my wits about me, because I'm so upset about this, hit the sub button, please. Hit the sub button. Mama B, hello. ICI Dive. ICI said she had to remember or she wouldn't fail the lie detector. Where did that come from that she failed a polygraph? I'm not doubting that she failed it. I'm not doubting that. I'm just wondering where that was reported. I can't find it. And by the way, I don't hitch my cart to any polygraphs. I don't really care about them. You're never going to hear me get excited about polygraphs or rewards. You'll get used to that about me. It takes some people a while. They think I'm crazy when they say, but Brooks, there's a reward. And I go, I don't care. I don't care because criminals can't buy their freedom. I don't care. Hello, Robin. I was chatting with a bunch of you this morning. I had the show for 9 a.m. Because it's kind of a shot in the dark with these press conferences. Yesterday, they kept saying the time is to be determined. So sometimes they're early in the morning. I mean, like the one for Debbie Collier, we were in here at 7 o'clock my time. They had it at 8 o'clock Eastern. But this one, they're having about 30 minutes. Rowena's having earbud issues. Gotta fix my little scroller here. There we go. Now I'm at the bottom. Red top, exactly. She has to remember. So we're supposed to believe that Danny sees little Quinton in his pack and play, in his little Sesame Street shirt. Then Leilani wakes up and doesn't realize that Quinton's not in his pack and play, but her being the safety patrol officer of the home that she is, realizes that a door's open. But then a story was told to Curtis and others that the door was open between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. 3 hours. Okay, whatever. But that at 20 months old, he crawled out of his pack and play, got his little leg up over it, which I guess could happen. And went outside. And what they're trying to do is make it look like he got in the pool and that she covered it up. It doesn't work that way. We all know that. Quinton's still missing. Where's Quinton? Asking the same question I asked on the first show, which was a week ago. Where is he? Where's Quinton? This whole she's turning herself in. I got laughed out of a Facebook group earlier this morning. I'm good with that. I don't care. I said, for what? You have to be charged with something. Did she confess? She hasn't been charged with anything. She's not going to talk. She's had a week to talk. She keeps making up stories. She sat there with them. Hell, they had like a slumber party together, really. She was interrogated almost overnight last week. She didn't. Quinton's dad has him. Now we hear this whole phony, I don't know why they keep bringing up ADT. That is a really stupid thing to bring up because those records are fast for law enforcement to get. Let's see what Rowena's saying. What's up, Rowena?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. Can everyone hear Rowena?
Do I sound like a robot?
No.
Okay, good. I'm going to start by saying right now, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say. But I am so damn tired of these parents, these family members killing these babies. I'm sick of it. I am so sick of it. And until the laws change and somebody either gets a lethal injection, a firing squad, because in the state of Tennessee, you have a choice. I know that she's in Georgia. I don't know what their whatever is, but these parents have got to be, and thank whoever does this, has got to be made an example. And as far as Billy goes, hey, she lost a grandchild. You know what? I'm sorry, but she has some accountability in that, and everybody can hate me and come for me. I do not care. I don't care.
Can you speak up just a little bit, Rowena? Rowena, can you speak up a little bit?
And you're sounding like a robot to me. That's why I asked. I'm sorry. Let me try to.
Like a robot. We just can't really hear you. And you're right. Billy does have some accountability in this. She does. She has two children now that are going to be in jail for the rest of their lives. Leilani is not a prime suspect because the police saw something on Facebook. They have physical evidence from that house and probably digital footprints from her phone. They know where she went. They know. They have a very good idea. Prime suspect means you are going to be put away for probably your whole natural life. That's 2 kids for Billy. That's 2. Now I ask you this because, yes, this was brought up to me. And DS, I'm going to get to your comment in a minute. I love this comment. Not what happened, but I want to talk about this. Some people said she's going through the trials of Job. Didn't say that to me personally. I just see it in the comments. Is she going through the trials of Job, or did karma come knocking? What happened?
Is she trying to do a Casey Anthony? I mean, is this what it's about? Is this? It's garbage.
It's
It's
not going to work.
garbage. And as
It's
far as
not going to work.
passed away, I'm so livid. Oh my God, I couldn't sleep last night, and I had been up 36 hours straight.
Mhm.
I am so mad. I, anyway, I, all right, custody. It's not just signing a damn piece of paper. You have a responsibility to those children that cannot protect themselves to provide a safe environment. Now, apparently, DCAS, or whatever it's called there, DCAS, came through and said, Leilani, no, girl, no, no. Okay, so grandma steps up, what, to keep him out of the system? Shit, they'd be alive. He'd be alive.
Yeah.
And another thing is, you can, this makes me so mad, I just want to cry. You can take a child to a fire station, to a hospital, to a safe place, to a church, and you can say, I'm completely overwhelmed. I can't do this. I can't. I can't do it.
Well, then you
You know
lose all
what will
your
happen?
benefits.
That child will be safe. That that mother or father or aunt or grandma or whatever will have done the right thing by that child.
Mhm.
But no, she is a selfish bitch.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, both of them. And I'm going to tell you what, it says a lot. You know, when you raise two children that are murderers, and this stuff of Leilani doesn't remember and all this crap
Mhm.
and postpartum, I'm going to tell you what. Look, I'm a nurse. I was a labor and delivery NICU and high-risk OB nurse. I have fought with DCA. I have fought with CPS. I have said, I'm not signing that paper. Those people, I'm not doing it. And I wouldn't discharge a baby. Somebody else is going to have to do it because I wouldn't see that baby on the news. That ain't going to be on me. No. So,
Let
the,
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So Danny supposedly saw, this is from the police report, I'm guessing, because it's on the news, that he saw Quinton in his pack and play at 6 a.m. Was Quinton alive? Was he soaking wet? Was his skin blue?
exactly.
You're a nurse. You're a
Exactly.
nurse.
You know what?
He wouldn't look
And if he'd have fallen in that pool, and the
he wouldn't look like a sleeping baby in that pack and play if he was deceased. So either he was snoozing away at 6 a.m. and then something happened after. I still think something happened that led up to the 5:30 a.m. text.
I do think something happened. I definitely do think something happened. I do. And it's not postpartum depression. Women that have postpartum depression that severe to kill their child, they wipe out every child. They don't just pick out the middle one. Okay? They don't just do that. I truly believe that something happened to this baby before 5 o'clock. I don't know if she put him back in the pack and play, and uh, boyfriend just saw, saw a little lump with a blanket over it. He was asleep and went to work, and I wonder how long it would have taken her to call 911 if Diana had not told her to. And how long would it have taken for her to tell her mom? Because she didn't know either. Diana had to tell her that.
Uh-huh.
So you're covering up all kinds of shit. And if you look, if you don't remember, you would be frantic going, "Oh my God, what's happened? My baby." I can't remember what happened. No, she was sitting out there smoking a cigarette, calm as could be. Poor Casey Anthony. They won't get it wrong again. I guarantee you. I'm so sick. I'm telling you. Mm, I'm gonna be on CNN. I'm telling you, I am so pissed. These
No, I don't think
babies.
they did it wrong again because I don't
Ooh,
think anyone's gonna have the nerve like Jeff Ashcroft, who thought he was gonna run for governor or whatever he had going on,
yeah.
to go in without a body and cause a death and try to get the death penalty for someone. He blew that whole thing. And now the
He
minute
did.
someone is called to jury duty that has to do with the child, they go Casey Anthony in their mind. They go Casey Anthony. It is brought
Mm-hmm.
up on juror questionnaires. Are you familiar with the Casey Anthony case? Believe it or not, because they don't want people coming in there
Mm-hmm.
comparing the two. That's how it is. So they put the D in dysfunction. There's no getting around it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm looking for some nuggets of nurturing, not finding it. So again, I don't know if Danny saw just Quinton's hair.
I don't either.
I need more specifics on that. If DFAX actually was as involved as Diana is saying, and I don't know that Diana knows every single detail of what is going on in that home, I have a feeling there are many, 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 many secrets that are going to be coming unraveled over the next few years because, yes, it's going to take a long time to get justice for Quinton. It will take a long time.
Yep.
So Diana, bless her heart, I know she is super, super upset and did everything that she believes she could do. If they were indeed as involved as she believes they were, there needs to be a state investigation, just like they did with Harmony Montgomery. There needs to be an investigation
Thank
as
you.
to why Leilani was allowed to be in that home unsupervised with Quinton. If that was allowed, there's a problem.
And
If they didn't know, then Billy needs to answer for that.
ding, ding, ding. Did Billy lie? Did, did Billy lie? I mean, I'm sorry. It's not like she's had custody of these kids 3 years and just got a new job. This is a new thing. She got custody. Did she tell them that she would be out of town working for weeks at a time? I get it. Work on, sister. Provide for your family. Right on. But if you have, look, she told Diana. She told her, you watch those kids day and night until I get back. That told her something. Then she calls back and she says, sure, hold up. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. You know what? She, it, mm, I'm sorry. I know I sound like a bitch, but I'm sorry. Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
No,
That
and then a
she
news
knew.
story. Yeah. And then a new story comes out because it's as if we're making it up as we go along. Billy says she wasn't given custody. It was a civil agreement between her and Leilani. No way. No way. I do not believe that. Let me show you why. Because she knows she's under heat with people saying, why did you leave Quinton with Leilani? She does not like the feeling of that. If you look on the screen, I'll get to DS's comment in a second. This is from the state of Georgia. This is from the state of Georgia. This is not a civil agreement between Billy and Leilani. And even if it was a civil agreement, but it wasn't, then there should have been an agreement that Leilani is not to be. Why? What was the agreement? Because she can't take care of her child. She knows that. We're making
Exactly.
it up as we go along. This is an official document from the state of Georgia. There's nothing civil about it. Billy
Mm-mm.
didn't write this up. If it is so civil, then why did Billy go to the court and handwrite this? Not looking to be compensated, just want them to move out as quick as possible. Lie,
Mhm.
Lonnie Simon is my daughter, 22 years old, with her boyfriend and 3 kids. They have damaged my property, and at this point, no one is living in peace. That's not civil. That's not between
Mm-mm.
the two of them. She went to the courthouse and filed this.
Yep.
No, she said it was a civil agreement. There's nothing like that. I want to address DS's comment. A 2-year-old around here drowned in a pool over the summer and it was reported immediately. Someone even made a GoFundMe for the family for funeral expenses. There's no reason to cover up a drowning. No.
Exactly.
And it is tragic, it is awful, and it shouldn't happen. Kids have drowned in swimming pools. People drown in water. They do. We know that. It is
Yep.
mentioned on the 5 o'clock news, 6, the 10 o'clock newscast. They might hit it the next morning. No one talks about it ever again. Terrible, tragic. We need to learn from this and people move on. Leilani would not have covered up an accident. I don't believe that.
Exactly.
I don't.
I don't either. And I was talking, and my mic was off.
Uh-oh.
But um, uh, as far as Billy goes, there's no way that Child Protective Services was not involved. You cannot. I can't go to your house. I can't go to my daughter's house. I don't even have grandkids, but I can't go to my daughter's house if I had a grandchild and say, I'm going to take custody of your child and go and have it filed with a court and a judge signs off on it.
Mhm.
She, I'm,
No,
they all, I'm telling you, they're all
that would be
twisted as
called
hell.
that would be called adoption. You
Yep.
have to involve the courts. This isn't like me saying, listen, I can't take care of my puppy anymore because I'm moving into an apartment that doesn't allow it. And my dog I give it to someone else. Not saying that I would do that. They are little baby human beings. People have
Mhm.
asked me over and over, how can she evict kids she has custody of? She can't. This is
Mm-mm.
Billy's world, and people are victims of it. I'm sorry to say that. This is yet another argument that went down in the House. This was probably a taunting measure. Look, I wrote this out. I went and filed it. Even if the sheriff had showed up at dinner time and said, everyone's got to go, it would have been rinse, repeat, toxic cycle. No, everything's okay now. We
Right.
worked it out. That's how they
I'm
live.
gonna I'm gonna give Leilani another chance. She knew. She told Diana, watch watch these two until night and day until I get back. Skirt. What she do? Changes it. Now I'm gonna give her another chance. What little bird came and whispered in your ear that she's any better than she was how many hours, days, whatever, before she told Diana that? I'm sorry. Look, as a mother, and Leilani, she's guilty. Period. Done. Done. Postpartum is bullcrap.
Mhm.
Postpartum is very real. Don't get me wrong.
It's very
She,
real.
she, it's very real. I mean, I took care of patients that, oh my God, I mean, it was heartbreaking. And it's
Well, what is
very,
well,
very
what
real.
well, what is it? Let's take a poll. Is it postpartum? She just can't remember that the daddy had him. We know that's not true.
Right.
ADT fell in the pool. We have all kinds of excuses. Nothing's going to stick. But I can tell you something right now. Those 40 federal agents that are combing that neighborhood right now,
Mm-hmm.
they are going to find all the physical evidence they can muster. They're going to put it together, and there's not a lie in the world that is going to be able to save her from this.
I know.
No,
That I truly believe that, Brooks. I don't think that she is going to see the light of day. I really think that she's going to have a little window, and they can do whatever they want to with her in there. I don't care. The uh, Bobby or Billy, excuse me. Um, it, you have kids. A lot of people in here have kids. Think about it. You have two children that are murderers.
Mhm.
Really? There's an issue. There is an issue. And those children do not, mm-mm, don't give them to her. God, please. I pray. I pray so hard that the system that we have will finally snap to, open their eyes, and be like, no, 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 Billy, You had custody of two. One's dead. So here's a baby that was born in July and a 3-year-old. No, you're not getting them. No, no, no. And every people have got, because I'm going to tell you what, Liar Lonnie, she's whatever. She's, I ain't even worried about them coming down on her and getting the conviction. I'm not even worried about it. I will scream from the rooftops, but I'm also going to scream at the rooftops that those children, those two remaining babies that are in that house, deserve protection. Period. But Billy's shown what kind of protection she gets.
Hang on, Rowena. I want to see if this is the press conference
Oh, yeah.
or they're playing the last one.
Okay.
Let me see.
Whenever you're ready.
As we continue our search for Quinton Simon, I want to update you on our aggressive efforts to find him. I want to assure everyone that we are continuing to use every investigative resource available for us to locate little Quinton. We have conducted multiple interviews.
That's the old one. All right. Well, at least we got something.
Yeah. But I mean, and I don't mean to sound so ugly. I swear I don't. And you know, I swear as a nurse, y'all just, I mean, we had preemie babies, and yeah, DCS does come in and step in to make sure that you have the resources to take care of that medically fragile child that's going to go home with you. Yeah, that baby might be 3 months old, but really it's not. It just came early. And y'all just, seriously, I really wondered if I was going to lose my job. Seriously.
No.
A couple times. No, because I flat out refused. Oh, no. I was like, I'm not signing that paper. But I'm not discharging that baby. I'm not doing it. And, okay, one baby, perfect example. One baby, discharged. Yep, it was me, signed the paper. 2 weeks later, that baby came through our ER and had 2nd and 3rd degree burns up to full nipple line. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Because mom, drugs, and just, you know, we ain't gonna check the water, but you know, we just gonna put in the babies. I'm telling you, there's monsters out there. I think drugs
Benefit us today. Get more epic energy and better sleep with tons of equipment in our clean and space.
I think I lost you. I'm gonna drop out.
No, you don't have to do that. It's 12:01 and I can't find this press conference. They said it's going to be on WJCL. I'm looking at their website, their Facebook, and their Twitter.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe they're just running a little bit late, you know, hopefully. Yeah, I pray so much that they find this baby. And I tell you what, I heard a comment last night, and it was like the best comment I had heard on, throughout this thing. I'd make her search on her hands.
I'm Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley. I'm joined today by FBI Supervisory Senior Resident Agent Will Clark of the Savannah FBI office. As you know, our investigation over the last 8 days has led us to the heartbreaking conclusion that 20-month-old Quinton Simon is deceased. We have named his mother, Leilani Simon, as the primary suspect in Quinton's disappearance and death. We have not made an arrest or filed any charges at this time. From the moment we received the 911 call reporting Quinton missing, we have conducted an exhaustive search for him. Sadly, we still have not found Quinton. But our search and our investigation will continue, and it will continue with every available resource we have in order to give Quinton's family closure and see that justice is served in this case. I would like to thank the FBI for their invaluable expertise and assistance during our search and for the help they will continue to provide moving forward. We know that millions of people fell in love with Quinton Simon the moment they saw his face and learned of his disappearance. We have seen the outpouring of love and concern for this child and the outpouring of grief at the latest developments in this case. The men and women of the Chatham County Police Department share that same sadness, but we also feel very determined to keep working as hard as we can and for as long as we have to find Quinton. Now, Special Agent Clark will have some comments, and then I'll return with some closing statements.
Good afternoon. My name is Will Clark. I am the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent in charge of the FBI's Savannah and Brunswick offices. From the moment the FBI became involved in this investigation, our primary goal was to assist the Chatham County Police Department in bringing Quinton home and holding anyone responsible for his disappearance accountable. To the Chatham County community, our heart breaks along with yours in trying to comprehend what we believe happened here. The FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, have followed every lead, every tip, and every piece of evidence to get to this point, and we will continue to do so. The FBI entered this case less than 3 hours.
Hang on, it's buffering. It's not on my end.
It's okay. A lot of people are going to say, why haven't they arrested her? Why haven't they arrested her?
They might not arrest her. I mean, they might not arrest her till next June.
Exactly. That clock's going to tick when they do. And they got to get everything in order. Put her on a lower charge. Hold her. Step on her neck. Do whatever.
Plus, they're all eating dinner.
Right. It's just heartbreaking. You know, there's so many. It's like I wrote in your comments today. I'm so tired of hitting the like button on these cases.
I saw that.
There's so many babies that we can't even cover them all.
No, there's enough time in the day.
It's heartbreaking. I
want them to cross every T and dot every I.
Me too.
I don't want this case to fall apart.
Nope. If you got to take 6 months, take 6 months. Keep an eye on her. Make sure you know where she is. I don't care if she goes out and eats Mexican every night with Billy. I don't care. But you make sure that when she sits there in front of 12 people.
And every piece of evidence to get to this point, and we will continue to do so. The FBI entered this case less than 3 hours.
I don't know what you've heard. I've been sitting there talking on.
This is nuts with their buffering.
I mean, what, I'm like,
Every tip and every piece of evidence to get to this point, and we will continue to do so. The FBI entered this case less than 3 hours.
Good grief, I need to get it together.
Based on multiple search warrants and interviews, has led us to the conclusion that Quinton is deceased. The investigation doesn't end, right there. We will continue to investigate this until its final conclusion.
With no charges brought in the case, what made you think it was necessary to identify his mother?
Because because the evidence has led us to that point and to this point today.
Why has she not been arrested yet?
Because we will only do that when we feel we have everything that we need to. We only get one shot at this, right? We're going to do it right. We're going to do the best that we can. We're going to use the resources at our disposal. We're thankful to the FBI. And when we get to that point and we feel comfortable in counsel with the FBI and the ADA, that's when we will reach that conclusion.
Is anyone else being considered for criminal charges?
At this time, no.
What changed to make you suspect about what?
The evidence in the case has led us to this conclusion.
Was there a date where you found the evidence that led you to this conclusion? Because obviously earlier this week and last week you had said you did not suspect.
The accumulation of evidence over these last 8 days has led us to this conclusion today.
Do you have an idea where Quinton might be?
We do not have any specifics at this time. I can't answer that question with any level of specificity.
Do you know where Leilani's other two children are?
I can't answer that question.
Do you know where Leilani is?
I don't know where she is currently today.
Was there any chance anyone else besides Leilani could be your child?
There is no one else a suspect at this time. Leilani is the main focus of this investigation.
Are you not concerned that you've now named your number one suspect out loud to the public? Is there not a concern she might take off?
I can't get into any specifics, but we don't believe she's a flight risk at this time. All right, thank you. Appreciate your questions. Have a great day.
Missed too much of that because of their stupid Wi-Fi.
You ready? All right, good afternoon. I'm Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley. I'm joined today by FBI Supervisory Senior Resident Agent Will Clark of the Savannah FBI office. As you know, our investigation over the last 8 days has led us to the heartbreaking conclusion that 20-month-old Quinton Simon is deceased. We have named his mother, Leilani Simon, as the primary suspect in Quinton's disappearance and death. We have not made an arrest or filed any charges at this time. From the moment we received the 911 call reporting Quinton missing, we have conducted an exhaustive search for him. Sadly, we still have not found Quinton. But our search and our investigation will continue, and it will continue with every available resource we have in order to give Quinton's family closure and see that justice is served in this case. I would like to thank the FBI for their invaluable expertise and assistance during our search and for the help they will continue to provide moving forward. We know that millions of people fell in love with Quinton Simon the moment they saw his face and learned of his disappearance. We have seen the outpouring of love and concern for this child and the outpouring of grief at the latest developments in this case. The men and women of the Chatham County Police Department share that same sadness, but we also feel very determined to keep working as hard as we can and for as long as we have to find Quinton. Now, Special Agent Clark will have some comments, and then I'll return with some closing statements.
Good afternoon. My name is Will Clark. I am the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent in charge of the FBI's Savannah and Brunswick offices. From the moment the FBI became involved in this investigation, our primary goal was to assist the Chatham County Police Department in bringing Quinton home and holding anyone responsible for his disappearance accountable. To the Chatham County community, our heart breaks along with yours in trying to comprehend what we believe happened here. The FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, have followed every lead, every tip, and every piece of evidence to get to this point, and we will continue to do so. The FBI entered this case less than 3 hours after Quinton was reported missing. The FBI has provided the Chatham County Police Department resources in this case, and those resources have come in the form of investigative, analytical, and technical assistance. For the past week, over 40 FBI agents, analysts, task force officers, and professional sports staff who live in the coastal Georgia area have worked tirelessly and continuously on this investigation. Last Wednesday, we mobilized our child abduction rapid deployment team, the CARD team in short, which brings with it experts from across the country who specialize in missing children cases. As needed, and as the investigation continues to progress, the FBI stands ready to deploy additional resources. In closing, we share the sorrow felt by millions and pledge every resource to assist the Chatham County Police Department in finding little Quinton.
Thank you, Agent Clark. And in closing, I understand the intense interest in this case and know everyone has a lot of questions. I'll answer what I can. But remember, our focus must be on not doing anything that jeopardizes the integrity of this investigation or bringing justice for Quinton. So with that said, I'll be happy to answer what questions I can.
We heard from the family last night that you might be targeting a landfill. Can you tell us about that and what landfill might be?
I cannot disclose any information relative to that. We will follow the evidence, and when our evidence leads us to search anything specifically or any specific geographic area, we will communicate that to you at that time.
I'm confused on why there was a tweet yesterday that said they believe that Quinton is likely deceased and the investigation continues. What is that piece of evidence, or why what makes you believe that?
I cannot get into any specifics relative to evidence. What I can say is the evidence that we have so far, based on multiple search warrants and interviews, has led us to the conclusion that Quinton is deceased. The investigation doesn't end, right there. We will continue to investigate this until its final conclusion.
With no charges brought in the case, what made you feel like it was necessary to identify his brother?
Because because the evidence has led us to that point and to this point today.
Why has she not been arrested yet?
Because we will only do that when we feel we have everything that we need to. We only get one shot at this, right? We're going to do it right. We're going to do the best that we can. We're going to use the resources at our disposal. We're thankful to the FBI. And when we get to that point and we feel comfortable in counsel with the FBI and the ADA, that's when we will reach that conclusion.
Chief, is anyone else being considered for criminal charges?
At this time, no.
What changed to make you suspect foul play?
The evidence in the case has led us to this conclusion.
Was there a date where you found the evidence that led you to this conclusion? Because obviously earlier this week and last week you had said you did not suspect him.
The accumulation of evidence over these last 8 days has led us to this conclusion today.
Do you have an idea where Quinton might be?
We do not have any specifics at this time. I can't answer that question with any level of specificity.
Do you know where Leilani's other two children are?
I can't answer that question.
Do you know where Leilani is?
I don't know where she is currently today.
Is there any chance anyone else besides Leilani could be killed?
There is no one else a suspect at this time. Leilani is the main focus of this investigation.
Are you not concerned that you've now named your number one suspect out loud to the public? Is there not a concern she might take off?
I can't get into any specifics, but we don't believe she's a flight risk at this time. All right, thank you. Appreciate your questions. Have a great day.
All right, he doesn't have too much to say. He looks kind of PO'd. I don't know what the hell is going on. I didn't expect them to come out and say they arrested her. I just didn't. It's been 8 days. You know what? 8 days? What's today? Thursday? Yeah, 8 days. It's been 8 days. I'm surprised we've even had one press conference. That's just me, though. Her not being a flight risk, they know more than I do. I hope they're following her around town like they did Adam Montgomery. Adam Montgomery couldn't even sit to you know what, take an alley without them in his face. It's crazy how every department does it different. I would not have had this press conference, but I don't work there. I'm not in law enforcement. I would have put my thing on the Twitter, said we believe he's deceased. Everybody's a suspect and left it at that. But they're flat out naming her. She's our prime suspect. I don't know what they're waiting on to charge her. I don't know what they're waiting on. I have no idea. I know on Twitter it showed that they were in the backyard of a neighbor. If they're buying time to find Quinton, if there is a huge question as to whether there was an accident and she covered it up, or if it was just flat out murder, I don't know. Me personally, but like I said, I don't work there. If things went my way, well, you know, it'd be a little bit different here on Crime Lines and Lies, wouldn't it? Things would run a little bit different. I would put her in jail for not producing her child. I would have said on Monday, you have to produce your child. Like they did Lori Vallow, like they did Adam Montgomery. You can't produce your child, you're going to jail. Gotta be something more going on. She's going down, though. And there could be someone else involved. He looks really frustrated to me. I lost Rowena. Does anybody else want to grab the link? He looks frustrated to me. Do you think that she is the only person involved? Or do you think she had help? If Danny's telling the truth and Danny did not know anything about that text that went to Diana, well, then it would have been obviously Leilani that sent the text. Is she working alone or did she have help? Robin said more involved. They said they don't know where she is now. We saw her drive away yesterday. Oh, Dwayne says mother and daughter team. Maybe they're trying to maybe there's something going on. I don't know. Tina thinks Danny. I mean, Danny's shooting pool in Atlanta. That's the craziest thing I've just about ever seen. Well, actually not anywhere near close, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I would have used that one on her, even if you can only hold her for a few weeks. I mean, it's only been a week. Obviously we have to be patient with this. We don't get to help. They don't want our help. So I want it done right. Quinton deserves it. Every I dotted, every T crossed. I don't believe that she doesn't remember anything. I'm not going to doubt that she wasn't on some kind of bender Tuesday night going into Wednesday last week. That wouldn't shock me at all. It'd shock me if she was totally sober. It'd shock me if she decided to attend her first NA meeting. Then I'd call bullshit. I wouldn't doubt at all that she was on some kind of bender. it's too convenient to make up this story and float it around to people about how the doors were open. She doesn't remember anything, but she knows the doors were open, or I'm sorry, ADT told someone who doesn't even live there that. Cindy, what are you talking about? You keep putting up all these hundreds. What are you saying? All just what I thought. Shame Brooks. Shame what? Shame on Leilani? Yeah. Quinton's father wasn't in his life per se. There was also a question of paternity, and he was nowhere around the area. He's basically the only person involved in this circle that's not a suspect. Police do not release details on Twitter. Yeah, they do. They use their Twitter all the time, Cindy. They do here. They give updates on Twitter quite a bit. They'll say, we're having a press conference tomorrow at noon. They'll say an arrest has been made. They all have Facebook pages anymore. Pretty much every department has it. Do you use Twitter, Cindy? I'm just now getting into it. I don't believe in this postpartum depression thing. She's no Andrea Yates. Do you think that she really blacked out all the details? Because either way, they don't need her recollection. Criminals don't tend to help the prosecutors, the police, and especially 40 federal agents that just came into Savannah, Georgia. They don't tend to help them do their jobs. You know, criminals have a pattern of making law enforcement work for their little bitty paycheck. They really do. So, I mean, whether she remembers or not a big deal. That's a good one, though, Billy. That's a good one, Billy. Quinton has passed. That still is such a disconnect for me that Billy says he passed. Now, it came out today is Thursday. It came out, I believe, on Tuesday. That is when they said that they had found evidence in the home that was going to take the case in a different direction. So this is the day after we saw the press conference, which was Monday, where he said criminal is one of the avenues they're pursuing. Okay, but she says he's passed. It's not like I'm expecting Billy to know the perfect wording. It's just a disconnect for me. We know what past means. You know, someone has passed away. You know, you're thinking about someone in a hospital bed almost. That's just so odd to me. He's in a landfill and my daughter done it. She has no memory of it. Well, did she confess? If she confessed, this press conference would have been totally different. Well, did she confess and maybe she's in a mental hospital somewhere? I don't know. She's saying, Bill, this is going around everywhere. Billy's saying my daughter did it. Did she confess? Well, then where's she at? There's something here going on. And I don't mean any sort of conspiracy, anything weird. It's just, I'm trying to figure it out. They'll get it all sorted out. He's in a landfill. Okay, so when the reporters asked about the landfill, did you say something to the grandmother about the landfill? Again, he was kind of shaking his head as if he couldn't help it, like, no. And he said, we can't reveal that. We can't reveal that conversation to you. I mean, that's a pretty definitive statement. Quinton has passed. Odd wording considering it's a criminal investigation, but I guess I'll get over that soon enough. He's in a landfill and my daughter done it. So either She said she put him in the landfill, and that's her confession, but doesn't remember anything. Even if she confessed, they still have to investigate that. I know that doesn't make sense, but I mean, they still have to investigate even if she confessed it. What did Jules say? Is Jules in here dropping all kinds of genius? I see a lot of people. Kate said, I agree, Brooks. I think maybe she said, I think, but I don't remember, and she's being evaluated somewhere. I don't know. I mean, she says right there, she's saying that her daughter. She's not saying, Billy isn't saying he was murdered. She's not talking about the ADT security system anymore. Now she's saying, and this is to another creator, Quinton has passed. He's in a landfill, and my daughter done it. She has no memory of it. What does she have no memory of? Who's talking about the landfill to Billy? We've had a lot of lies for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. A lot of lies. Hey, Rowena, lost you. What's up?
Hi, sorry. And I want people to like to tell me if I'm like completely off base or whatever, and that's fine. But last night, and I don't know, I haven't heard, but I know that it was said that they covered up the windows and did luminol, in the garage, and they were really focusing on the house and everything. And that's what kind of kept me awake last night too. Is did it come up, positive? Did the luminol come? Visions in your head can take over. And another thing is Billy, and I know I've been on her, I know it, and I ain't gonna apologize. That's just my opinion. But if my child had killed my grandchild because she said she done it, quote quote, how can you get on Facebook? This wasn't just a one little, apparently she was answering questions on Facebook. That I would be in a clump. That I had she got some kind of validation from somebody. Liar, the police, whoever. Somebody told her that, and she posted it.
Well, of course, if you tell Facebook, it's got to be true. Isn't that the world we live in?
But
if you say it on YouTube, it's got to be true, even if it's your opinion. I can't tell you how many times people will come into this chat going, you've got to go check this out. It's just the person's opinion.
Right.
It's not any physical evidence fact. Where Summer 800 TBI Fine said the grandma's trying to redirect. I believe that. Nomad Mama said, what a cool name, by the way. There was no police search last night on that property. No, it's going on today. It's not on their property. It's behind the neighbor's house. That was the pictures I saw. I just think it's a really weird thing. She reached out to someone who she doesn't personally know. Now, that doesn't shock me because that happens in almost every case.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I don't know.
Hang on.
Can't
Cindy, what are you talking about? I'm not lying about anything. We just saw the press conference. Go to the news site. This creator is lying. I pulled it. We just watched the press conference from 11 Alive. What are you talking about? I'm not lying about anything.
The baby's dead. What?
Yeah, they're lying. Cindy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute myself for about 3 minutes.
You're okay. Sky said, agreed. Just me. I have a really hard time not hurting her. This whole thing is insane. So let's look at what they put out. There was a couple of news clips from last night. We'll go through. And then I'm going to try to make sense of this press conference because the whole, there's some kind of method to the madness. Because someone's a suspect doesn't mean you can go arrest them, though. Dawn Wells is a suspect in the disappearance of Summer Wells. Candace Wells is a suspect. Her mother is a suspect. They're all suspects. Because someone's suspicious doesn't mean they immediately get a pair of silver bracelets. It doesn't work that way. I don't know what they're waiting on. They must think they're very close to actually finding Quinton. I don't know. I can't wait to find out, though.
It's just like he said, they have one shot.
The search for a Chatham County toddler. Many tonight are still holding their breath, hoping he's okay. But it's been more than a week now since Quinton Simon vanished. We saw his mother, Leilani Simon, for the first time today leaving the family home. She declined to talk to the media. Police say that she last saw the boy last Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, the FBI resumed their search of the area today, this time behind a neighbor's home, but they were only there for about 45 minutes. Tonight, an outpouring of support for the little boy in Savannah. People gathered for a prayer vigil in Daffin Park. As WSAV's Brian Gallagher tells us, concern for his well-being extends well beyond his family and friends.
It's been a full week since the disappearance of 20-month-old Quinton Simon, with very little details emerging from the case the last 2 days. Residents gathered for a vigil to pray for Quinton's safety. Dozens gathering in Daffin Park in Savannah with one thing on their mind. Where is Quinton Simon? These supporters have no connection to the family, but have been touched by this emotional situation and just wanted to do something to show concern for everyone involved.
It's been 7 days. I feel like a baby doesn't just vanish into thin air, and we haven't had any updates. Everybody wants answers. Let's pray for some answers. Prayer does not hurt anybody.
And answers are exactly what federal and local law enforcement is looking for as this search continues into its second week. The Chatham County Police Department says they have new evidence they believe will break the case, but those waiting are fearful that those answers may come too late.
I'm concerned. I have one child, he's 32, and I have 2 grandchildren. And you would have to sedate me to keep me from going outside and begging for help. And I'm not trying to be negative, but I pray that he's with Jesus now instead of suffering.
Reporting in Savannah, Brian Gallagher.
Dear God, I felt everything that woman was saying. I just pray this little baby is at peace.
Ooh, me too.
He knows what he had to go through.
Oh. Those kids just cannot go back in that. I just pray. I pray that they're not failed. Quinn was failed enough for all of them.
And I like this comment from Carolina. She said, Leilani was alert enough to not need a babysitter and knew it was trash pickup day, alert enough to call law enforcement after trash picked up. She knows what she did and she knows where the baby is. I think she told her mom. I don't
exactly.
But they're not at the landfill searching. They were there last week. Why aren't they at the landfill searching? They said that the dogs lost the scent for Quinton after they left the house. So what does that mean? Uh-oh, Kelly Howard. Karma is a bitch. She said, my daughter was murdered 24 years ago. There was overwhelming evidence. Oh my God, Kelly. Victims don't have any rights, guys. Everybody has rights until your freedoms are taken away. Like right now, Leilani, she's holding all kinds of cards. She's got a whole deck to play. Even though they said she's the prime suspect, she's just a suspect. She can do whatever she wants to do. She might be on the government watch list. She can go to Disney World if she wants. Rowena, your camera's on. And remember, you guys are going to probably shit and fall back in it. This week, 16 months since Summer Wells disappeared. I still think Hawkins County dropped the ball in that. I think these people, this police force, I think they had criminal in the front of their mind from the beginning.
and I hate to say it, but I think certain people contributed to that cluster that has been made of poor Summer's case too.
Well, I do believe Leslie with TBI when she's talking about, well, the people surrounding the case. So I don't mean to get off on that, but
Yeah, I know. I could say a lot of things right now, even about this case with idiots.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna say.
I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm not going to jinx anything with this case by trying to be hopeful. But they're definitely moving in the right direction. I mean,
Well, and
40
I mean, hats off to Georgia. You know, look at Debbie's case. Boom, boom. I mean, yeah, we're okay. Take your time on that too. I mean, you can walk in, and that's so true, Brooks.
We lost Rowena. The link is posted if anybody wants to grab it. Seems to me that they're moving in the right direction. If we remember, if you guys were here for the press conference they did for Debbie Collier, and they said, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Don't look for microwave justice. This isn't going to be done in 24 hours, 48 hours. It's going to be done by Christmas probably. We have a lot to get through. And this dude, this chief, he just looked really exhausted. I don't mean like it's bedtime, sleepy time, just drained. We may not see her charged until this time next year. Did someone say they're at the landfill? I'm going to go look. Well, I would think if law enforcement told Billy last night they believe he's in the landfill, then I would think that they would have been there first thing this morning. The pictures that I saw and the news clip I saw is they were searching behind a neighbor's house. Curtis said, I didn't see it on a local channel. What station reported they were at the landfill? Billy said hang on. Billy's the one that said landfill. So you're saying that Dolly overheard someone say that they're on the way to the landfill? I think Leilani thinks too much of herself to do anything to herself. That's just me. Because I know last week they were searching the landfill. They could have new evidence. I don't know. Let's see if Rowena reconnected. Hello, Rowena.
Hey, sorry I keep dropping. Yeah, last night I heard Dolly and Betty and Dolly, they were going to go out there to a landfill and they needed the address. And Dolly said he was going to go get a shovel. So, yeah. So I don't know if they're out there today. I don't know.
I don't know. CL doesn't say anything about a landfill. WSAV doesn't. Let me look at their Twitter.
It's like evidence, even talking to people, those could be future witnesses. There's a really fine line and you got to be really careful because that can come back and really put Quinton's case at jeopardy, And I'm not trying to be negative or ugly. I'm just
speaking facts. If you mess with already muddy water, well,
thank you.
It just gets worse and worse and worse. But if people want to go dig around the landfill, have at it. I mean, I can't stop anybody.
No, but I mean, what? And the only thing I'm saying is, let's say that there was like some kind, let's say in the remote, whatever. I mean, they've missed things before, and then I don't know. I don't know.
I'm looking on Twitter. WSAV just says Quinton's body hasn't been found. No arrests have been made. Leilani Simon is still the main suspect. There's nothing about landfill, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know where Billy got that. I mean, I wonder
I
that.
want to know. I mean, all I have to go off of is what Billy said, so that means we're in a lot of trouble.
Right.
We have to listen
Billy
to
that.
what Billy, we don't have to believe Billy, but we have to take into account what Billy says, because Billy is very, very, very much involved in this.
Right. I don't think Billy would lie,
Oh, Billy would lie. Billy would
But,
lie. Billy is definitely a main central character. So, yeah, Britt, it came from Billy for sure. For sure. Let's see what Angel has to say. Hello, Angel. How are you?
Hey, Brooks. Hey, Rowena. I don't know. The whole thing just is so sad. I knew this was going to happen. I'm not trying to be arrogant or say I know everything, but I just had a really bad feeling about this from the start. And the thing that I think is weird is, among 100 other things, is like, why would you get on your social media and say, oh, my daughter just confessed to me he's in the landfill?
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, if it was just kind of an out of the blue, we'd never heard from Billy before, I'd say, no way, shut up, shut the ADT door and lock the system is what I would say. But she's had a pattern of behavior for the last 8 days and yes, it's her account.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but she seemed very eager to put that out, perhaps, and get the heat off of her is what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the whole wording of he's passed, that's a terminology that you would use. Like I said, someone has been ill for a little while or a long while. They pass. Yeah. That's very peaceful. That's kind of a peaceful, they've passed. They've passed on to the next life, or however you believe. Now,
yeah.
Then she says, and my daughter done it. He's in the landfill. She doesn't remember anything. Now, that is a statement. That is a cluster right there that even FBI behavioral science would have a huge effing problem with.
Yeah, why that choice of words? He's passed. That's crazy. And I was doing some research last night. I know where Summer knows a lot of this information, but I was looking about, crimes against children, and I do not see how that the grandmother cannot be charged with reckless endangerment, at least.
She could. She could be charged with many things because she had legal custody. She can call it whatever she wants. I don't know if DFACS dropped the ball and they knew Leilani was there and they allowed that. I don't know what the rules for this custody thing were. Some people are like, it could be a money situation. I don't know. It's all going to come out. So like right now, I would just be speculating.
Yes, me too.
I know she's trying to get the heat off of her by, when people say she sees these comments, I know for a fact she does. So when people like Billy shouldn't have left her, she conveniently in the last couple of days said, oh no, it was nothing through the courts. It was a civil agreement. Well, either way, Billy, you left her alone with which there was no civil agreement. Quinton and Zane are not dogs. They're not cats.
Yeah.
It's not someone's pet canary. They are human beings. any way she wants to phrase it, there would be no agreement if Leilani was capable of mothering, nurturing, taking care of, providing for her own children. Billy knew there was a problem. Billy left her there unsupervised with the children. Diana was hired, commissioned, whatever you want to call it, to watch them 24/7. Something changed, and Quinton could possibly be in a landfill, but they're looking as of this morning. I don't know what they're doing right now because there's nothing on Twitter saying what's going on right now.
So obviously, I mean, I'm just speculating, but obviously they have found evidence, which they said they did. And, you know, they could be looking for a body, or they could be looking for other items that were used to perhaps cover up and or any evidence that could help them maybe figure out what happened. I just hope she doesn't try to use this drug addiction and mental illness as a crutch. You know, if you think about it, I was on drugs and I was just out of my mind and I don't remember what I did. That kind of makes her feel better about it, maybe. That she didn't know what she was doing, and I don't buy that.
No, the prisons are full of mentally ill and people that were once drug addicted or still are. Now, if it's to make her feel better about what happened, there's going to be a realization one day. There's going to be. I mean, you've already got one child in jail for murder.
Yeah.
This is not the first time she's attended the rodeo. She knows the price of the tickets. She knows how to sell at the concession stand. She knows every bit of this. Slithering Sleuth, your camera's on. I see ya. You can come up when you get that turned off. So she went out of work she went out of, the state to work. Didn't take the kids with her. Left them there. I mean, I guess obviously she has to work. We all have to work. There's no getting around that.
Well, it's just like a drunk driver. You know, you may have been drunk, but if you killed somebody, you killed somebody. So it doesn't need to be used as a crutch. I don't buy it. I think that eventually, maybe, I don't know. I'm hoping that she'll eventually crack and tell them what's going on, or maybe they'll find it. I'm impressed with this law enforcement. I know that it's frustrating not to get all the answers and stuff today. But I mean, when you compare it to other cases, look how fast they got to where they are. And this has moved very quickly and efficiently. And it's also taken a very large toll on them, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. They've had 8 days of this. They've heard he's with the biological father. So they got to go track down Bubba, find out where Bubba was. Okay, Bubba was nowhere around. Bubba hasn't talked to Leilani since they made Quinton. The most Bubba's done is told Quinton happy birthday on a Facebook page. That's it.
Yeah.
He's not in this. All right, now we got to figure out what the hell was going on, Danny. Now we got to figure, they got all this going on. And then of course they got a lot of people wanting to know why they're not working faster. I mean, like I said, we could be sitting here a year from now going, the hell's Leilani doing? Why haven't they arrested Leilani? Right now, she's just a suspect. They're going to have to find evidence because yet we want it done today. They're going to have, like he said, they've got one shot. That's her constitutional right. When they put her in front of a jury without all of us, looking and talking, because we're not going to be there. By this time, everyone's going to move on to another case. They have to prove to them that she deserves to be in jail for the rest of her life. They've got to prove to all 12 people, unanimous, that she killed Quinton.
Yeah, and you want to get that raw, and you don't want to take any chances.
I would
Legally
find a
speaking.
way. I'd find something, man. I swear to God, I'd find something. I'd pull her over for a DUI, Don Wells style or something, because I'd be too afraid she's going to wind up getting pregnant again. She's very fertile.
That's really sad. And considering the behaviors and everything that we've observed over this time, I'm really surprised that those two haven't had it on like Donkey Kong since this all came out.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Billy and her daughter.
Well, they were fighting in the backyard. Hello, Slithering Sleuth.
Hi, how are you, Brooke?
Good. What are you thinking about all this?
I just think it's so sad that, one after another of these small, innocent children just keep getting taken away from us. And I just wanted to add on to the things that you've been saying. Once they charge her, they have so many days before, it has to go through to the prosecuting attorney. So if they don't have all of their evidence, it can get thrown out, and we don't want it to ever go that way.
No, and they don't have. There's no timeline. She hasn't been charged with anything.
But once she's charged, they have so much time to, you know what I mean? I think that's why they're not arresting her yet.
Yeah, you don't want the clock to start ticking because it's not a Turkish prison where you sit there for 30 years while they're doing their paperwork. They only have so much time. I mean, I know we say this in every case. Everyone's heard it before. We want it done right. We want it done right. So it's only been 8 days. There's no way in hell they could have enough unless they'd have to have her dead to nuts. I'm still really curious as to what they were doing behind the neighbor's house today. I'm looking on Twitter right now. I've got it on my phone. There's nothing about them at the landfill. So I don't know why Billy said that. I don't know. Billy seems to be throwing a lot of barbs into this, if you know what I mean.
She is. And I think because of the past that she's had, she's feeling some guilt, and that's why she is kind of protective of her daughter. I mean, it is her daughter still. I'm not condoning her behavior, but I'm sure because of her past, she has a lot of guilt, and, she's kind of defending her daughter, but I'm not saying it's right.
Not at all. And grandparents, the last few years in these cases have blown my mind.
I know. It just,
they defend. Kids are a reflection of the way you raise them. You're damn right. And your kids are a reflection of you. We get that. It's the mirror complex. I totally understand that. Not to the grandbabies. Come on.
Exactly. And I'm with the other person that was on your live, whatever you call this. She was talking about how she was a nurse for children, and I'm a nurse too, and I thought I was going to work in the emergency room. And I also went into mental health thinking, I'm going to save these people. I'm going to go in and I'm going to give them love and understanding, and I'm going to save them. No, you're not. Those people aren't savable. They need their medication and they need a stable environment. And, when I worked in the emergency room, the same thing happened to me. A husband and a wife brought two little boys in, and they were burnt. And we called the police in, and the police went over to the house, and the playpens it was just awful. And of course they lost their children too. But at that point I said, I can't do kids. I just cannot work with kids. I just can't. Because there's so many ugly people out there hurting them.
I totally understand that. I've mainly worked with geriatrics and mental health and hospice, but I had a brief stint of home health care, kind of like NICU babies that are discharged home and are on the vent or whatever. And I couldn't stand that. I had to go back to another field.
Yes, me too. And my daughter, she's a nurse right now, and she's taking care of a little boy who's on a vent and has a G tube, and she's his main nurse. And it just breaks my heart, that, I mean, you look at their innocent face, you just stare at their innocent faces, Summer and this little Quinton, and how could you hurt that? How could you be so cruel?
I don't know. I will never understand. I will never understand these people. Ever, ever, ever.
No.
Well, we can't, myself included, you can't, we can't relate to it because there's so much dysfunction and violence and drug addiction that there's so much insanity going on where they repeat the same behavior over and over, as we've all heard, and expect different results. So I cannot relate to these people. We can't relate to these people because obviously their judgment's impaired. I mean, we just can't relate to it. That's not how we would handle things.
No, and I just think that our law, we just have to, when it comes to children, there has to be more restrictions. I mean, if someone loses their kids, I just don't believe they should be able to keep having kids. If they can show where they've turned their life around and they've been drug free and they've gone through some, counseling on, not to take your anger out on your children. Yeah, there's got to be programs that we can set up so that this doesn't keep going on, or have stricter penalties, when they are found guilty. There's got to be something we can do.
Well, there's nothing we can do. It's the idiots we elect, and they spend too much time. They have a special committee right now on something that's not worth the piece of paper it's written on. I'm not even going to say what they're discussing. A special committee. But yet, when a child is in danger, the foster homes are full. The foster homes are full.
I know, it's so sad. And here's the other thing. You know how a few of the neighbors, and I'm not blaming those neighbors at all, but you know how a few of the neighbors said they saw the kids out on the street? I think if you see something, say something. Just get on the phone, just get on the phone and say, hey, these little kids shouldn't be out on this road, and they're out on the road, and just keep doing it. I mean, if you see something that's scary and it's regarding a child, just call in.
Well, and part of it too, though, it's the family dynamic, and it's going on. I think about the Quinton Boggs case. Quinton Boggs was killed. He was killed. I don't know if it was the uncle that did it, the aunt that did it, or the grandma, but all three are in jail. This was a family secret, this child's abuse. So no one can see. Nobody knows what's going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it is so common. Like where Summer said, sorry, but I can't trust a POS that put grandchildren back in the hands of a monster. That is true. That is true. When Billy looks at Leilani, even though they fight like cats in a pillowcase, she doesn't see a monster. She doesn't know that there is a capability there that this can happen. And no, I am not defending Billy. No, 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 no.
Right.
But it is so common for kids to be taken from mom, taken from dad for whatever reason, drugs, abuse, whatever it is. They give it to grandma and grandpa. I don't mean to say it, boy, girl, granddaughter, grandson. They give the child to grandma and grandpa, or just grandma, or just grandpa, however. And then they're like, hey, this is your child. You watch it. I'm off. I got to go to work. I'm not paying for daycare. You're the one that gets state benefits. I don't. I have to work for a living. Hey, me and my friends are going to the casino. You watch your child. You watch your child. Even though they know they're not supposed to, one way or another, the abusive parent is still with the child. It's so common. It drives me nuts.
It is. It's just not right. Well, I just wanted to jump up and, give my input and tell you what a wonderful job you do. My grandson had heart surgery and my daughter was just trying to call me, so I guess I better jump off. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, no problem. Well, I hope that your phone call goes okay and everything's well.
Thank you so much. I'll keep watching.
All right, hun. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
Let's see if Rowena's got better connection. Hello, Rowena. Say hi to Phil. Say hi to everybody again.
Hey, I just wanted to hop on and just say thank you to the two nurses that are on. It is a hard job. It's a rewarding job, and the saddest can be the the saddest cases can just make you wonder, about humanity sometimes. And I do think that some of this is a generational thing that we're seeing come back around. There has to be some. I mean, I don't think everything is drugs. I don't think everything is money. I don't think everything's the economy. I'm wondering if some of it is a generational thing. And the perfect example, I had a patient that was 12 years old having her first baby. And
what? 12 years old?
Yes.
Oh,
and,
God.
I know. I cry thinking about it. Anyway, she was 12. And her mother that was there with her, now, years ago, you had to be emancipated, or you had to have a parent sign for an epidural. Well, she was refusing. She said, I want her to feel every pain. She had no prenatal care, and the father of this baby was a 34-year-old man that was friends with her boyfriend. Yeah, the police were called and everything, but it was all taken care of. But charges were pressed and all that stuff. But anyway, what got me is that this mother that was younger than me at the time was on the phone constantly griping and raising hell about she missed her hair appointment. I couldn't believe it. I had about an hour of it, and I had a 12-year-old in tears, a baby having a baby, and an idiot sitting there bitching. So I called Mom out in the hall, and I told her, I said, you got one of two choices. You can go in there, you can shut up, go in there and support your daughter and sign for this epidural, or I'll have security walk you out. Believe it. She went in there and signed the paper. But that's what I'm saying. So she had her young. So it's like, it's like, is it a generational thing? I don't know. But in the last 2 years, this world has just gone to hell. It's like the most atrocious things that we hear, not just about kids, but just the most god awful things. And you think, what a monster. But and years ago, it would have been like, all over the news, and you couldn't get away from it. And now it's just like it comes up on a Google search. It's so sad. And we've got to let the right officials, these judges, go vote. Do your research. Vote for the judges that are going to be ruling on cases. Do your homework. The city officials, start there and then go up. These are all people that are going to affect your life. And I don't know. I don't know. This case, I don't know what's happened to me. I really don't.
Oh, it's just made me sick. Even my husband said, my husband's like, this case with little Quinton, he goes, it's really bothered me. It's really and nothing bothers him. Really.
I know. Well, I told my husband last night, I said, oh my, and how I found out, I just picked up my phone and thought, I'm going to watch about 30 minutes of somebody and go to bed because I'd been up like 36 hours straight.
Girl,
I
what
picked up my
are
phone.
you been
I
up
go in a live.
for?
I
Rowena,
go in a
you've
live
been
and it's
up
like,
so long.
huh? We're moving. It's hell. I'm right in the middle of 18 years of one house and yeah, being in hell packing. So I'm training Santas for sand. But you know, but it's like I picked up my phone and I saw that, and I mean, I just stopped dead in my tracks, and I said, "Oh my God!" And my husband's like, "What?" And I said, "That little boy in Georgia, Quinton." I said, and I thought they had found him dead in the landfill because you know, I had what 30 seconds to process what she had written. I said, "They found him dead in the landfill." And he goes, "Oh my God." I said, "I know." And I just came in and I mean, don't you look, I have cried for summer for 15, almost 16 months.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a day that I don't go by and I don't pray for that baby and let her get justice. And that the right people be airtight, just make it airtight. And, but it's like, come on. You know, I'm kind of mad about that by getting into her, but you know, I don't know what it is about this little boy. Oh my word, it's just crushing. I
So
mean, seriously, I can't eat. I mean,
it's just so crass, and just the dynamics and the lies and Dana, you're right. She said, "Did you see the CPS records? Do you know that the case manager was negligent?" No, 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 no. And I'm not trying to blame any social workers or anything like that. And I will never, ever, ever in any of these cases, I'm never going to say CPS is perfect, but I will say they are not needed because mom should be mom, dad should be dad. This whole Bubba told him happy birthday on Facebook doesn't jive with me. But I have a feeling that it's the family dynamics. If they, what I'm saying is, if there was like a Harmony Montgomery situation or a Gabriel Fernandez situation or like little AJ in Illinois, I hope there is a full on investigation. We don't know what happened. You're right. Where Summer said the bottom line here is Leilani could never have hurt them children if Grand Monster did not allow her to be around them alone. She knew. She knew. She knew.
does anybody know like uh what the root, the beginning of why Leilani lost custody? What does it? I don't. I mean, does anybody know? I don't. I mean, I can't say Billy's stepping up and going, "Hey, my daughter's an unfit parent. Give them to me." I don't see that. Sorry.
No,
But,
no. Somebody had to have gotten involved when Jalen was on here. He was the babysitter, one of many, I'm sure,
right. That's right.
before Diana, and he was talking about the NyQuil, not having the wet wipes, diapers that weren't changed, drugs. You know, Leilani, she's got a drug problem, you know, so it could be a lot of things.
You know, I want to follow up on what Rowena was saying, you know, about what's going on in the world today. It seems like, I don't know, it seems like the younger generation, I'm going to sound like my parents, um, in their 20s and 30s. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but they have a whole different standard of living, their value system. It's all very me, me, me. And I'm going to tell you something that's sad, in my opinion. We're talking about ways to raise awareness. Okay, I'm going to tell you the truth. There's a lot of people that I can, even family members that I have mentioned something about these cases. There's so many people that are like, "Oh, I don't want to hear about that. That's so sad. Oh, I don't want to, don't tell me about that. I don't want to know about that. I don't care about that. It doesn't affect me." Now, there's the problem.
Yeah.
It's sickening. And we've become desensitized to this, to the children, like you were saying. I mean, there's more There's more research done before you take a dog home from the shelter than there is before you're allowed to be a parent and be a responsible, caring, nurturing adult that wants to raise a wonderful human being into this world. No, that's not happening.
No.
And there's a lot of people that genuinely don't care. They do not care about all this stuff. And
No.
that infuriates me.
No, I was in the store on Sunday, and we had an alert. It wasn't an amber alert. Like a silver alert, an older person, they couldn't find it, and everybody's phones at once went off. And I heard several people, not everybody, but a few saying, I thought I turned that off. Some people do not want to be bothered with other people's problems. That's how they look at it. They're not going to be on shows like this. That's how those people live. My family's fine. I take care of my family, and good for them. I heard several people. I couldn't give you a number enough for me to hear it. Thought I turned that off. They don't want that notification on their phone. That's why when people say the Amber Alert, the Amber Alert, the Amber Alert, what are you going to do when they turn it off? They don't want to hear that.
Right. I see it all the time. It's disgusting.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, I know more is going to be coming out. That's for sure. Let's look at this news clip real quick. Rowena muted herself. Hang on one second. This was from last night.
And tonight we begin with breaking news. Sad news. Chatham County Police and the FBI have notified Quinton Simon's family that they believe the toddler is presumed dead.
According to a tweet from Chatham County Police, authorities have named the boy's mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death. But police say no arrests have been made and no charges have been filed. Our Andy Cole has been following this story from the very start. He joins us now live. And Andy, the police took to social media to break this news.
Hey, good evening, Shannon. That's exactly right. They took to Twitter, and I want you to go ahead and take a look at those tweets. I'm going to read them for you now. We are saddened to report that Chatham County Police and the FBI have notified that Quinton Simon's family that we believe he is deceased. We have named his mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death. But no arrests have been made and no charges have been filed. Chief Hadley will hold a media briefing tomorrow at some point to give more details and answer questions. We will not be making any further statements or answering any questions until that time. We know that thousands of people around the world will be heartbroken by this news, and we share your sorrow. Shannon and Greg, obviously this is a major development. As you said, Quinton has been missing and is now dead. After just 1 week of searching, dozens of FBI agents were on the case, and of course, even more local law enforcement were there and assisted in this search, including Savannah Mounted Patrol, Mosquito Control. Many people were involved in this search, and many have speculated the outcome of this, and we still don't know a lot about this case. That's why we're going to have many questions for Chief Hadley at that media availability tomorrow. We will be there, and we will be pressing police for more information.
And Andy, you reported yesterday authorities were gathering all sorts of evidence in this case.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but he goes, and we will be pressing police for more information. How'd that work out for you, big boy? Because he wasn't having it. He was like, we're not messing up the integrity of this investigation. Not going to tell you that. Nope, 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 nope. Hey, Frog, I see you backstage. Turn your camera off. What's up, Frog? What do you make?
Sorry, I was just admiring my nice haircut for a little bit while I was by myself back there.
All right.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I guess whatever evidence they got out of the house on Tuesday, they said that's when they reported that it pushed the investigation forward. So whatever they found led them to believe, or they do believe, that Quinton is dead. Now, Billy is saying, and my daughter done it, she said, and he's in the landfill.
Yep. Hey, that was my theory from the beginning. Remember?
Yep.
That's my theory, man. She said she had no recollection of what happened, which is total bullshit, because I'm a former drug user. I told you guys that I know when I was at my highest peak, I still remember the worst times. I don't remember the whole day, but I remember the worst thing I did that day, or the thing that I regretted the most. You know what I'm saying? I always remember that. So it's pretty weird that she has no recollection.
She does. She does.
That's that. Yeah, I know. But that was my point. Like I'm talking, guys. I was blazed out my mind on cocaine before. For a while, I had a problem, and I remember the bad things I did to my friends, or not the bad things, but the things I did that weren't, that weren't morally correct. But I don't remember the whole day or the whole night. So I don't see her not remembering, because if she didn't remember, then she wouldn't have known she killed him.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that old Leilani took notes, but she knew something went down because she made sure for Diana to not show up.
Yeah, I agree.
She knew it was trash day.
That's right.
She remembered, and I don't think it was her week. I don't think it was on her chore list, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and she didn't remember, then why was she already texting the babysitter saying he wasn't going to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning? You remembered perfectly fine to text the babysitter, to call the cops at 9 in the morning, and to hide the body between that time.
Mm-hmm. Who told Billy he's in the landfill? Did Billy piece this together over what she's seen on Facebook and the news? Because we know she's all over that. Did Billy piece this together herself and throw it out there in her conversation she was having with someone? This wasn't blasted publicly, by the way. I'm not saying anything about it going around. I'm just so everyone can have a context. Was this for someone else's benefit, or did Leilani tell her that? I don't believe law enforcement told her that. I just don't.
Dude, just one day ago, she was yelling at the grandma saying he was still alive. She knew it that day he was dead. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's hindering investigation. You can't tell me in 48 hours you found out he was in the landfill and you had no clue when he busted through that babysitter's door, cussing her out and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seems like their trail, it seems like they were getting caught onto, and she was getting very defensive. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make everybody still believe it. And I don't think Billy Joe had anything to do with the murder, but I think she has something to do with trying to save her daughter's ass. Which a lot of moms in this world, I can see doing that. She's not the only one, so I'm not going to sit here and bash her for that. But at the same time, I feel like that's what she was doing, trying to make peace, save her daughter from going to jail. She already lost her grandson. She's probably emotional now. She doesn't want to lose her daughter, knowing that her daughter did this. You know what I'm thinking? That's where I'm at.
And her other son, she has another child in jail for murder. This is, like I said, this is floating around everywhere. Billy's saying my daughter done it. Well, we know what she's talking about. We know that she's not saying, and my daughter decided to host Thanksgiving dinner this year. We know that she's not talking about something like that. We know what she's talking about. So what's going on here? And I know that they can't go and arrest Leilani on some Facebook BS, but still, where did the landfill thing come from? Because they searched the landfill last week. There's nothing on Twitter from any law enforcement, not that they would, or any news agency saying they're at the landfill right now. They've been still at the house.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I agree with the comments. She knew 100%, but I don't think she really personally had anything to do with the murder. But after the fact, she knew 100%, because the 3-hour wait from 6 to 9 gave them enough time for the garbage truck to get out of there, to go to the dumps probably, or you know what I'm saying? It gave enough time for them to collaborate a story together to match. I mean, there's no reason for 3 hours to, the 3-hour distance when all of them are there. Mm-hmm. The mom was there, and then when the boyfriend left, I agree with the comments from Karma. When that boyfriend left, that's probably when the kid went out. I don't believe that he went out in their garbage can. I believe that he took them and dumped them somewhere else, in another garbage can. Because if it's garbage in that city, the whole city has garbage day. All he has to do is drive around and find that truck. Once he finds the truck, put it in the garbage can in front of the truck. The next garbage can the truck's going to. You know how it goes house to house? It's easy to find the garbage truck. You just listen at 5 or 6 in the morning in your neighborhood. You can hear it. You know what I'm saying? And you find what street he's on, and you just put it in a couple houses in front, and that's it, man. I really feel like, that's a possibility. But if not, they threw him in his own dumpster, and that's crazier, because that DNA will be sitting in that dumpster for years. You know what I'm saying? Or months.
Yeah. And was it you, Angel? I think, were you saying we were talking about, or it might've been in Discord, we were talking about it, that there's records of where certain neighborhoods go, like trash truck number 1 has picked up in this neighborhood. So they would have to get those records so they would know where to search in the landfill, which is so insane to say and crass, considering we're talking about little Quinton.
Yeah. I feel bad for anybody having to look for that baby in that landfill or wherever. That's horrible. And to follow up on what UFC was saying, I have partial custody of my 3 grandsons. I'm a grandmother. Again, I love my child, but her ass, excuse me, would not be sitting in my house if I found this out, and I would probably get arrested for knocking her teeth out or something. And I'm not a violent person.
Yeah, and I can see that. I just basing off some, some parents are very protective of their kids and would do anything to save them. So it's morally just so incorrect. You know what I'm saying? Billy Joe knew this whole time and could have saved countless hours of FBI work that's needed in other cases. You know what I'm saying? That's the horrible part about this. This family knew that they killed their own baby, and they let the FBI spend countless hours a week straight using resources that are probably needed for other cases. You know what I'm saying? That's the even worse part about this. Where kids are really missing. You know what I'm saying? Your kid is not missing. You guys killed your kid.
Mm-hmm.
Think
That's
about
why
that.
it's one thing in these cases in the beginning, a lot of people will say, oh, they need to say something. Well, we know, or they're going to break. They're going to break and say something, but they don't. Criminals have a habit of just not helping the police do their job. They make them spend countless amounts of taxpayer dollars and hours, you name it. And then next thing you know, which a lot of people don't follow it to the end. I hope you follow this all the way to the end. I'm going to. Next thing you know, you've got this crazy arrest affidavit of things that you could have never imagined.
Well, where is Danny and why is he gone?
He's in Atlanta playing pool. Must be a hot pool tournament, my friend.
Danny said he didn't know nothing about this, but I concur on that to say differ, because if the baby's had diapers with maggots around the house in it, then Danny knew that this kid was getting neglected. Period. The end.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Nature Babe, what's up?
Hi, guys. Hey, I just wanted to put my own input on maybe how they might have got the tip of the baby possibly being in the landfill. When detectives are questioning the mom, of course she's gonna deny it. Well, a lot of times they'll use a tactic where it's like, well, if it's so horrible and you wouldn't do it, maybe you blocked it out, you don't remember. And I'm thinking she just went along with that. Yeah, okay. If I did, I don't remember. And then they're gonna start kind of giving her little ideas to see what she grabs onto, as far as, well, it was trash day, could you have done something? Could you have put something in the trash? I think that's how it kind of got there. But she definitely knows. And she's just trying to play whatever card she's got right now to keep her ass out of jail for as long as she can.
Knowing these two idiots, because there was a former prosecutor on the news the other night, and he said, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of digital data going on. Something with the cell phones, obviously. They took their phones.
Yeah.
They don't, they're going to pull records anyway. But knowing these idiots, Danny was probably behind a waste management truck and was like, is this truck okay? Look at this house, isn't it nice?
Mm-hmm. I would hope he wasn't in on that, but how could he not know what was going on?
It's if there's maggots in that kid's diaper, I don't care what anybody says in the comments. If there's maggots in the diaper, that means that diaper has been there for months, for at least weeks. That diaper was in that house for at least weeks if there was maggots in it, guys. That means Danny wasn't well aware of a neglected kid. Not saying he's well aware of a murder, but you're just as bad, because what happens with these kids, it starts out as neglect, right? And it ends in what? It doesn't end in ice cream and candy. It never ends with ice cream and candy. Let's be real here. Danny, you're just as bad, because you could have stopped this before it happened. If I was in
Danny wasn't around for that. That was pre-Danny.
Oh, the maggots are pre. I thought someone said they found maggots.
I mean, Danny knew, though, because he would ask, I guess, Diana, the babysitter, he would ask her what she needed. Like, do you even have food? Do you have diapers? Do you have wipes? So he knew. He knew that was how she treated kids. I don't understand how he could have had a child with her. It's like she's already proved how she is as a mother.
Yeah, but you're at your darkest times in life. If they're both using, they're both at a dark point. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Yeah, they're
it's
leaning on
sad
each
though,
other.
man. It's so
Yeah.
sad. We're all have theories on if Danny knows him, that guys, and I'm just basing what I've heard and facts, and it's just disgusting. You know, when I was a stepdad for a 2-year-old kid, I wouldn't even let him go play with the kids at the field because I was scared he'd fall and get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His mother would yell at me for being too strict because I wouldn't want that kid falling or getting hurt. If he fall and scraped his leg, you know, I'd go kiss it and hug him. She goes, let him be a baby. I said, no. You know, I just can't stand the fact that everybody living in that house knows how the neglect was going for years, and they allowed it to happen even before this. You know what I'm saying? Billy Joe's history. It's just that the court failed us here. The court failed us by giving Billy Joe the custody. At the end of the day, that's the clear. You know, you look at her past and you look at her drinking problem right now. Nothing's good with that lady.
Yeah, she never should have had custody of them. Neither one of them.
No, I don't think so either. No, especially, I mean, hindsight is 2020. That's for sure. I just think there probably could have been a better choice, but honestly, there probably wasn't. Foster homes are full. Where are you going to put? You know?
Yeah. And they'll give them a lot of slaps on the wrist before they do anything. It usually takes something really horrible to happen before they intervene, or if they have to because parents are locked up.
Well, something horrible did happen, so.
Yes,
And I've seen that. You know what I think why Billy Joe could have wanted that kid too is because all the extra. Remember, she gets EBT. You get all this extra money, all this tax money, all the stimulus they got for each kid this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Billy Joe took the kid because of that and gave it back to Leilani, but at the same time was getting all the stimulus checks that were coming in this last year. You know what I'm saying? The last 6 months, 8 months. Think about that. Someone was getting that money for that kid. They gave all that money in the United States per child. They're like $250 a kid per month. Remember, up front, tax credit.
Yeah, for sure. She was banking on that.
That's a very, very good point. We talked about that in the Wells case. We're like, where'd all that stimulus money go?
Yeah, someone's getting it. You know, was Leilani and her mom fighting over that? The truth of these fights were the $250 tax credit they get per month, plus those stimulus checks. Plus, there's a big check coming right now in October for gases, depending on how many dependents you have. Oh, I think that's California only. Sorry about that. But the other ones, you know what I'm saying? The $250 a month tax credit from Biden. Someone's getting that money. Is that the reason why she fought for the custody, but didn't care about giving the kid back over to her because she was getting the money anyways? I mean, that's something to think about, you know.
Not getting it now. Not getting it now. And I know a lot of people were like, well, she was ordered to pay child support. I get that. I do. And I don't think that was a good day for Leilani to know that she would have to separate herself from $150 a month for 2 children. But she's not a rule following type of person. There's no, she would have to not pay child support for a very, 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 very long time for her to ever see a jail cell. She's not the type that would worry about losing her driver's license. I don't know what brought this on. And also remember, and thank God for this, thank God, Zane's okay and the newborn baby is okay. Little Sky's okay. What did she do to Quinton?
That's horrifying to think there's another child in that house that there was another child in that house that was even younger than Quinton. Dear God, I can only imagine.
Sleuthy, I just saw you sneak in back there. The mute start cam settings was hiding you. What's going on? What do you think about this? It's obviously very heartbreaking that they have evidence that Quinton's not alive.
Yeah, I think that statement for me said a lot because, it implies that. So when we were talking about them going back to the pool again and serving search warrants, we all had a discussion about like what that actually means. So in order for them to go get a search warrant and have a judge sign it and approve it, they would have had to specify what they expected to find, what type of crime they think was committed, and where everything would be. So then when the trash bags went up, do you remember that? Like on the doors, I immediately thought luminol, then they made an announcement that they found evidence. They weren't going to have a press conference. And it just like kind of all came tumbling down. And I think for me, what's the worst part about it is to think that Quinton suffered some type of horrible, it wasn't like a Casey Anthony medicine situation. You know what I mean? Where you
Oh, yeah,
go to
because
sleep and that's it, you know?
oh yeah, because if they're spraying luminol, well, we know they're looking for blood splatter. They're
Yeah.
looking for
And I personally, I feel like, first of all, that press conference, the thing that worried me again is the fact that they don't know where she is right now. I don't know if that was like a way to say she's on the run or what.
I think that's a way of him saying, I'm not telling you because I don't want you to go bother her.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You got a bunch of YouTubers on the street sitting there recording. They already got enough people
That's
out there.
true.
That whole neighborhood's probably tripping out. You know, I wouldn't want no random guy looking some way sitting in front of my house. It's kind of weird. You know, you already have enough media, enough attention, and the neighborhood's probably going through it tough right now.
Oh my God, who has a baby?
Nature babe.
That's my baby.
And I've never heard a press before where they've said, do you know where they're at right now? And they're like, yes, I just saw them at the 7-Eleven because they have ices on sale. I don't think they're ever going to tell where a suspect's at. They used to ask all the time if they knew where Dawn and Candace were. No.
Maybe not specifically, but remember Northport, we were told they had eyes on Brian that entire week before they didn't. But I think I'd be sending Leilani in there to those landfills and televise it. Let her go look. That's how I feel right now. That's how disappointed I am.
I love that idea.
That should be it, 100%. I was saying yesterday, I felt that really that she was going to come out and tell him where the kid was because she wants a less sentence, a lighter sentence. I mean, it's not going to be that much lighter, but instead of being life, you know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, they didn't offer to her, but they threw it out. They probably threw it out at her lawyer. If you come out before we find the kid, it'll look a lot better in court on you than it will if we have to go dig through that place or go find that kid wherever he's at. You know, not if he's at the dumps or anywhere else. So I said it yesterday during the day. I felt that she was going to come out and tell him where he was. I swear I felt it in my heart because I think the pressure was coming down on her. You know, same with Billy Joe. You see the outburst from Billy Joe. They knew that the heat was coming. It was going to come down soon.
I hope they're watching her because she could wind up ODing. She could wind up getting pregnant again. I hope
look at Brian Laundrie. Look at Brian Laundrie.
That's such a bad example, and that should never have happened that way. But I mean, I'm hoping that they're following her around like Adam Montgomery. Yeah. I really hope that these law enforcement agencies take a page out of books where they messed up. You know,
I feel like they are. I do. I feel like you know, when they made that comment on Twitter about that they're sharing and everyone's kind of sorrow and shock with this, like I believed them. I did, and you could tell that. That man that did the press conference was much different than he had previously been. Not to say he was ever like in a good mood, but he was very somber and, you know, wanted to update everybody, but not be there. He seemed affected. But you brought up a good point about the landfill comment. So that's what so initially I was like, okay, so if she doesn't remember anything, where did the landfill comment come from? You can't know that you put him in a landfill, but not remember what happened to him. But then I got to thinking, that come from Billy Joe.
Yeah.
So I also don't think that law enforcement would have said that to her. No, so I'm just wondering if you know how they keep certain things, you know how they like stuff only the killer would know kind of thing. Like they keep things out of the media on purpose. I wonder if she gave away a piece of something.
Well, but they were behind the neighbor's house searching. You know, she was having a direct conversation with another person. You never know about her. She's been such a wild card. She could have just pulled that out of her ass from stuff she's seen on Facebook. Like we used to talk about Dawn Wells so much, and will be again shortly. you could tell he was watching all these different channels because he would guide the conversation and he would kind of pepper in stuff that people had been talking about. Well, we've been talking about the landfill. And it would be something that she would do. Yeah, they told me in the landfill. They asked him today, not saying that he's going to verify a conversation. We know it doesn't work that way. But his head was shaking no and said, I can't talk about the conversation we had with her. They probably just said, look, evidence came back. We don't believe because had they told her, listen, we have.
Oh my God.
I know. I had to turn my mic on so you could hear this baby laughing because this is why we care, right?
Mm-hmm.
He likes your voice, Brooks.
Only one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Brooks, you know what I was thinking about last night when this happened? Well, one of the things I was thinking about was your live yesterday, and I did bring it up to people with Curtis.
Yeah. He's
Do you
awesome.
think it's a coincidence that like you were pushing for police and then like everything kind of unraveled at that point?
No, because on Tuesday is when they said they had evidence that was going to take the case to the next direction. And also when he called, basically everything he told them they had already heard. They were well aware of it.
Oh, so that like the door thing? Like I wonder if the door thing was right.
They
Because
already
I feel like
they were well aware that rumor was circulating. I can't go into like really what they was said, but they weren't surprised by this new story.
I mean, they had to figure this was the outcome. I don't want to say that because it's sad, but you got to figure this was the outcome when none of the family was out searching for the kid. I mean, that was my automatic giveaway that they had something to do with it. You were in the house arguing. They were in the house arguing with each other more than they were even thinking about the kid, looking for him, or even calling him, calling places, putting signs up, putting missing posters up. I mean, it's just something. Do something.
Yeah. How are you not? That's so crazy to me that they weren't out like running around. I would be going crazy.
How could you not even just pretend because you know that that's like what you should
Yeah,
be doing?
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Dude,
they're not even good at that.
In the 70s and 60s, people walked from Arkansas to California to get a better job or to meet their wives that moved to the Golden State to get, if you read up on that. And people in these days want to go and look for their kids when they're missing. Just look how times have changed, man.
Jeez,
times have changed so much.
Yeah, I was watching, there's a really good show on Netflix and they go over old cases. They're mostly in Canada, but you should see these searches. Like, I mean, people, I mean, really extensive, and it's almost like you have to like beg for it nowadays. But can we talk about Danny and the timeline? So I was looking at the timeline, and the babysitter said that her husband went to work at 7:30, and then her son went to work at 8:30, and from 7:30 to 8:30 they were outside. And she did not see Leilani. She did not see the baby. She did not see the other baby. And then she went to McDonald's. Like I can't get past the idea that something had to have happened prior to 7. Like he had to have already been deceased and discarded by 7:30. So
yeah,
the fact that Danny is the last person to see him alive is bothering me.
I totally agree with that statement. A lot of jealousy rolls with that too, guys. Think about it. Danny had his kid there too, correct?
Yeah,
I think the little one is Danny's.
Yeah, they have
so
together.
Yeah, and it happens a lot where one of the parents get jealous of a kid that's not his. You know what I'm saying? That happens. I'm not saying it happened, but that's a lot. It happens a lot of times. They treat one of the kids worse because it's not their blood. It happens a lot.
It's scary. It's
Yeah,
very scary.
Especially if that kid, maybe doesn't listen to him, or, maybe he's crying too much,
Billy
whatever.
Joe's making their lives hard and giving Monkey a lot more than his kids. with her daughter too. You know what I'm saying? They're still her blood, but she's giving Monkey a little more love than she's giving the ones he produced. I mean, it could be,
that eviction
I kind of
notice.
feel that.
I think that eviction notice sent everything to a head. I think
so too. I think it could have been out of jealousy from mom to grandma that she loved up on that baby and not her.
I think tensions have been high in that house for a long time. I think a new baby really pivoted it into outer space as well.
Yeah.
Because a new baby, a new expense, you've got 2 toddlers, a baby. I mean, it's not like, it's a big house, don't get me wrong, but you've got a bunch of people in there.
A bunch of people that are out of their mind, that are not okay.
Not happily living together, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to ignore the fact, I feel like I can't ignore the fact that Leilani was fixing to have to pay child support on the 1st.
That since she found out like a week before this happened. Isn't that right, Sleuthy?
Yeah, that with the eviction notice on top of it.
And the new baby.
And a new
Grandma
baby.
being out and like not around. And so Leilani's there at the house. And
if she does have postpartum, which she very well could have, plus because she's already got the drug issues, so she's going to have like paranoia and depression and different things from using. It's going to be a lot easier for her to get postpartum too. Not that that's an excuse at all, but all these things add up.
I feel like if that was a big factor here, I feel like it wouldn't have just been the middle child that ended up deceased.
No, I don't either. And it would be a huge reason because it happens and it's super serious.
Yes.
But this is a drug addicted mother. These people put the D in dysfunction. I'm telling you, they have a rinse and repeat toxic cycle of fighting with each other. We have a son in jail for murder. There's a lot going on.
Wait, did you see his Facebook page?
The son?
The one in jail.
What about it? No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, you have to go look at it. I literally thought it was a joke. Like it's pictures of him and Billy Joe and her husband like in prison with him. Like, they do the pictures sometimes like in front of those weird paintings of like fish and things like that. But they've got like jail pictures and they're just like tickled to death. Like look like they're somewhere else. Oh yeah. It gave me really weird.
But what are the odds of 2 biological children going to jail for ending other people's lives? Your boyfriend and your grandson.
You got to be looking at Billy Joe. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's how that happens.
Dude, how the hell can that happen?
It's the house that she raised them in. It's the environment she provided. So.
And I'm going to catch hell for saying that. I know today's not the right day. Billy Joe probably needs a damn break. But I can't.
No, she don't need a break.
How the hell can that happen?
I agree with you. And I think it's their environment. I think you can raise children to be careless. If you got to, where do your morals come from? Right? Where do your morals come from? Who taught you what was right and wrong? Who gave you a conscience?
And to sit there and just say, my daughter done it, they're at the landfill. He passed. I know I'm probably picking at that statement too much. Someone passes away, they pass into however you believe. I'm not even gonna get into that. They've been ill for a while. Someone has an accident and they die. You don't say, well, they passed away.
Did she go after Leilani like she did the babysitter?
What's that?
Did she go after Leilani the way she went after that babysitter once she found this out?
Well, they were screaming and yelling at each other in the backyard, and people have witnessed them fighting and stuff like that. But I think I agree with Angel when Angel said that she was so mad at Diana. Well, Diana let out the family secrets. Diana was the one saying kids are dirty. She'd been telling Billy Joe that she thought something was going on, or however she phrased it. She got a text that morning. She went over. They didn't want her to help look for him. I have a feeling that was way too much information to be put on the news for her.
Yeah, she was making him look bad, so Grandma got
No,
pissed.
they were making that. If it looks bad,
No,
it's because that's terrible behavior.
sure. But she was the one speaking. She was the voice piece for that. So,
yeah.
I mean, she was just pissed at her.
Well, the video we saw of Billy Joe going into the babysitters, I have a feeling, I mean, if you slow that thing down and look at her body posture and everything else, I have a feeling that is the behavior that is going on daily in this house between people.
I agree.
Oh, for sure. And it's probably so much more because when, I hate to say it, but when you're have that intimate relationship with somebody.
This is my baby.
Oh Lord, was that just from that video?
Yeah, I'm putting it up.
Oh God.
I thought it was from your house. Like, holy
I know.
shit.
I'm like,
I know. I was about to call 911.
1 minute with her baby laughing. Next thing you know, Nature Babe is yelling at someone in the recliner.
Right.
Look how she's standing over her. I mean, I would want to get up and kick her teeth out.
But remember,
I don't know how she did it.
Billy has been really very upset. Obviously that Quinton is missing. We know now it's a little worse than missing, and missing's bad enough. But, she just said people are cruel and heartless. Girl, you're talking about your grandbaby being in a landfill. What's heartless?
She spent more time at that babysitter's house than she did looking for that baby.
Oh, wow, UFC, yes.
Don't put nothing in your yard. Go ahead. This is my baby, not yours. That's your baby. That's my baby. I touched you and I told you I was my baby. I was going to announce my phone. You didn't go get it. Now you get off the property. I text you. I asked you over and over. I got the text. Over and over I asked you. And you want to blame me? I don't care about the text. You think I'm going to get you at me? Do you think I would do that? Yeah. Really? Because I'm what?
No one
likes
you.
I'm what? I'm what? No, I don't like anybody. I should not have been out of town. Yeah, you did. You shouldn't have. No, I'm better. I was trying to provide. I did. I was trying to provide. I told you. I was trying to provide. I even provided for you, you bitch. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't pay for your family, your entire family. Your entire family. Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Good, you were wrong. You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help. Put that on social media. I begged you to help. I begged you to help. I said, hey, Michelle, please get the kids. You're a liar. Take them. I'll give you $300. I'm about to put it all over. I'm a liar. I'm about to put it all over. Good. Good, because you're awful to say you're going to put a memorial. My baby's not dead. You are a liar. My baby's not dead. My baby's not dead. You're a liar. You're a liar. No, you are. You are. I thought you were a woman of God. I thought you were a woman of God. You got Quinton? Did you have Quinton? I don't have Quinton. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. You got him. Okay. You got him. Well, I'm about to call the police. You're the only one that can go in my house and take him. Your kids go in my house and take him all the time. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We did not go in her house.
Oh, it's gonna be.
She said, oh, it's gonna be on the news. She said, you're the only one that can get in my house and take him. You and your kids come in and take him.
I'm gonna wait my turn, and then I got a lot to say.
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
Okay, go ahead, Sleuthy.
I think that the fact that she went up in there and was telling the babysitter that it was her fault because she wouldn't take the baby and she was going to give her $300 a week when she left the baby at the house with her daughter, who should have been capable of taking care of him. And if she wasn't, then grandma shouldn't have left him at the house alone, especially when they're supposed to be being evicted and knowing it was going to get everybody upset. I think that she was projecting all of her accountability that she is refusing to take right now onto the babysitter, because it's not the babysitter's fault. And I'm sorry. And I already know, but it's not going to be the first time someone has been angry about something that I've said. But Billy Joe, at the very, 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 very least, should feel very, very, very guilty. I hope and expect to see criminal charges filed against her simply for what we know right now she can be charged with.
Yeah, I agree. Just Me said the same thing. She said, I think it's projection. And really, in her own reality, she would love for it to be anybody but Leilani for many, many reasons.
I don't think she cares. I don't think she cares about. I think she's worried about her ass right there. That is her. She's worried about her ass, what she's going to look like to the world, and what's going to happen when he's found.
Now,
Oh, I
that's a
agree.
big part of it. That's the big part of it. How she looks to the world, because what was being said, she was aware of. She was asked by many people, "Why did you leave the kids with Leilani?" And she would answer lots of questions, but she would not answer that one because it's not, because she knows the answer looks bad. She knows that answer looks bad. Angel P, you're back. Nature Babe, do you want to address what we just watched, or whose turn is it? UFC pled the fifth.
I just got something to say. And I got one thing to say. Did Danny leave his kids with Billy Joe, or did he take them with him?
They got taken from CPS.
Oh, did they? Okay. That's where I was going to go to. Because if he left his kids there and went to Atlanta, then I'm saying he's guilty 100%. But then if they got taken beforehand, then I don't know. But because if you knowingly that kid went missing and Danny had nothing to do with it, he should have never he would have never left his kids with Billy Joe. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was going with that statement. But I didn't know they got took from. I've heard that, but I didn't remember that part.
Yeah,
If he's not being looked at, why did they take his child and put it in CPS care?
Of course he is. He hasn't been cleared yet.
No, none of them have. They all were in that house. You know, it just sucks, man. It really does.
I just wonder if something happened. I mean, I know where he's supposed to be, but I just wonder if, I guess I'm putting too much faith in one person, but I just wonder if something happened and that's why he left. Like, I don't know. Or did he tell somebody something and then leave?
I imagine that interrogation where they said, yo, man, the text came from your phone. Once he got his ass out of there, he hightailed it to Atlanta. I'm out of here. Melanie said, oh my God, that Billy just incriminated herself. She just said she begged or bribed babysitter to help her. With what, Billy? She knew and left the baby with POS daughter. What were you begging for help for, Billy?
That is a great comment.
That is really important that she said that when she was yelling at Diana in that recliner. I begged you for help.
Well, she said it. She said, I told you, I texted you and I told you. And then Billy Joe said, I begged you for help. You didn't come take them. You didn't take them. I was going to give you $300 a week and you didn't come take them. So basically, she did incriminate herself. She knew that something was wrong. She flat out said, if not just implied, that she knew that something bad was going to happen and she left the baby with them anyway. She knew something bad was going on, number one, and didn't report it or kick her out of that house because Billy Joe is the one responsible for their safety. Billy Joe is responsible for those kids' safety, and she left them in an unsafe situation, and one of them died.
Yep, like Jen Bug said, she also said, I knew I shouldn't have left.
Yep.
Now, what is that, some kind of threat? Like she's trying to make Diana feel guilty? I knew I shouldn't have left. That's like me when I go, when I leave the house and I come back and it's a mess. Well, I knew I shouldn't have left. This is a little different situation, though.
Exactly. That was a great point.
I hope there's some type of premeditate. I hope that I hope that every little bit of accountability that can get thrown at these people is thrown at these people. I hope they don't touch or look at another child again. Because this has been going on since you can tell and this has been going on since Leilani was small.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Their mom was an alcoholic. She probably treated her the same way. And Lonnie gets in that addiction mode, and she does the same shit her mom does. You know what I'm saying? But just to extreme.
A lot of this stuff is generational, right?
Yeah, my mom was an alcoholic, guys. I was an alcoholic for 12 years, 18 to 30. I drank the fifth a night. My mom did the same thing. It just, I could see that. It takes a lot of willpower, and you got to want it to stop.
It's in the genes.
Yeah, like how you treat your kids, how you raise them, you either carry it to the next generation, or you don't want to put another child through what you went through, and so you change it. And it could go either way. Not everybody picks the latter,
Let's listen to the words. Besides, I have the closed captioning on because Melanie caught that. That's why I love replaying stuff, because we always hear something different. That's a huge catch Melanie made. And then Jinbug said, I knew I shouldn't have left. So I don't feel like slowing it down. I may have to, but let's just listen to the words. And I have the closed captioning on.
Don't put nothing in your yard. Oh, my head. This is my baby, not yours. That's your right, buddy. That's my baby. I texted you and I told you that's my baby. Oh, so now it's my fault. You didn't go get it. Now you get off the property. I text you. I asked you over and over. I got the text. Over and over I asked you. Then you want to blame me? I don't care about the text. You think I'm going to get you at me? Here you think I would do that at me? Yeah. Really? Because I'm what?
No one likes you.
I'm what? I'm what? No, I don't like that. I should not have been out of town. You shouldn't have. No, I'm not trying to provide. I was trying to provide. I told you. I was trying to provide. I even provided for you, you bitch. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't pay for your family, your entire family. Your entire family. Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Good, you were wrong. You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help. Put that on social media. I begged you to help. Oh, yeah, and I begged you to help. I said, hey, Michelle, please get the kids. You're a liar. Take them, I'll give you 300 a week. I'm a liar. I'm about to put it all over. Good. Good, because you're all going to say you're going to put a memorial. My baby's not dead. You are a liar. My baby's not dead. My baby's not dead. You're a liar. You're a liar. No, you are. You are. My baby's not dead. I thought you were a woman of God. I thought you were a woman of God. You got Quinton? Did you have Quinton? I don't have Quinton. Maybe you do. Maybe
Wow.
you got it. Okay. You got it.
You got him. You got him. You got
She
him.
said a crime line. She said that I offered you 300 to take the kids. That was when that first day. Did she want her to take the kids so CPS wouldn't take them? Once they get in the house, how dirty it is
She
there?
was gonna give them, it sounded like she was gonna give them to the babysitter and pay the babysitter $300 a week to keep them.
Yes. But what?
Okay.
But what?
Babysitter said, I texted you and told you what was going on.
Well, and Misty heard her say, I asked you to come get him. Well, him is not them.
Mm-hmm.
Him is not them.
She almost went a little too far there too when she went after Diana's daughter. If she had put one hand on her, that would have been, and I'd say in her house, that's what she does.
She was close too. She was within inches.
Yeah.
I could literally, when she was like standing over top of her while she was sitting in the recliner, I literally like had flashbacks, and I could like picture that type of discipline being like a normal, like whether it's Leilani or, it's sad. And not for nothing, but the babysitter said, I texted you and told you what was going on.
And I want to know what she's talking about. I don't think she's talking about dirt and bruises. Was something going on that she couldn't keep them overnight any longer? That has not been addressed. We've heard some BS like we want Leilani to have a chance, but she's in her face. This isn't about a memorial or anything like that. She's mad about something else. And the elephant in the room, she doesn't like the way she's being talked about.
I mean, here's the facts. Like, the babysitter could have told the police that in her interview, and then they went to the sources and said, is this, and this true? And as far as Billy Joe knows, the babysitter is the only one that knows this, like, secret about, the bruises and things like that. that could have been what caused the anger. Because I don't think the babysitter went live at this point, right? She'd not been live, right?
No, she didn't go live until that night.
Okay, so she wasn't telling the world, but she told somebody.
But the babysitter never seen the maggots in the diapers, or how dirty the diapers were when they dropped them off, or did they? What do you think?
No,
They just messed
that was the previous babysitter
Okay.
that was on here, and that was something that came out later. This is like all of that happened between when that babysitter stopped babysitting from Leilani, the guy that was on last Friday, and Diana. I don't know exactly when Diana came into the picture and started watching the kids. I heard somewhere it was like May of 2022, she started helping out. Now, this situation was different with Billy out of town. I don't know what the exact arrangement was supposed to be. It's really important, and they're going to have to figure out what happened.
I am literally sweating.
It's crazy.
Like, like pouring the sweat. I am. I'm surprised in Georgia that happened. Like,
I am
I'm
too,
just
but all I can attest it to is we got family secrets, dude. We're taking care of this between ourselves.
But obviously,
they've done it.
There was another case. I didn't have it on the channel. We talked about it in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, where the grandmother had custody of the grandkids, but they knew when CPS was coming to do their regular visits. So the daughter would bring the kids to grandma. And so it appeared that the kids had been there the whole time. Well, they don't need to do forensic, interviews on the kids. They go through, they make sure there's food, they make sure the water's on, they make sure the heat's going, blah, blah, blah. And they have these secrets between them. They're very guarded of how they want to live their life. Government be damned.
I just think they're scum, really. That's the nicest way I can put it. I think that they're scum. That poor baby.
Where Summer said what Billy Joe was saying, she wanted the babysitter to do her effing job. I don't know what the disconnect was and where it went from 24/7 to just through the day. And then I bring the kids back, and Leilani and Danny are on their own till the next morning. I don't know what happened. It's going to be discussed. It's going to come out. That's going to be something. Who really sent the text? I don't know how they're going to figure that out, honestly. I really don't know how they're going to figure that out.
I think someone's going to have to tell on someone.
I think it's coming down the pike because, oh boy, he's in Atlanta playing pool like nothing's going on. He seems to be pretty damn comfortable.
I think he'll get him a new girlfriend, and then he'll sing like a bird.
Yep. Man, guys, I've kept you guys almost 3 hours. So I'm going to start shutting this down. We have another show tomorrow morning. So everybody hit your reminders. Make sure you're subbed and come back tomorrow.
Thank you, Brooks. I'm going to step down.
All right, hon. Thanks, Angel.
Great show.
I know it hasn't felt like 3 hours, and I just realized Sleuthy just got gone. She didn't even say bye. Dang, Sleuthy didn't even say bye.
All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, Brooks.
All right, hon, and I'll see you on Discord.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
UFC, thank you for coming up. I don't think he's on his phone now. All right, guys, thanks for coming in to watch the press conference. Sorry that there was a buffer. That was through WJCL on their Facebook. So, but we went to 11 Alive. We caught the rest of it. Then I restarted it. So at least we got an update. She's a suspect. They don't have enough to charge her yet. I think it's coming down the pike. Not going to worry about it. That part of it, it's not in our hands. You know what I mean? As far as what Billy's saying about landfills and stuff, we'll just keep an eye out. Any updates or anything, We will discuss it. We definitely will. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow. We had some new members come in today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that is appreciated. Check the members tab, because there's all kinds of stuff on the members tab. And then I always discuss with you guys when you want to have the next members live. So, and I agree with Rowena. We want an airtight case. We don't want anyone to get away with what happened to little Quinton. And we know whatever happened to him is very, very bad, because there's 40 federal agents trying to get to the bottom of it, plus the regular law enforcement that is already there. So I'm going to get off here. I've got a few things I've got to get done this afternoon. Then I'll see you guys over in Discord. You guys are the best. Thanks for piling in here for the press conference, being super cool as always, and being the best chat and community on YouTube. See you guys here tomorrow. Bye-bye.